I was finally able to get together with Hagbard and record episode 2 of The Cynical Jerks. He and I were having some technical difficulties, so sorry about the wait. So here's the first 10 minutes or so of the podcast. If you like what you hear, go ahead and look for the link in the description to the rest of the podcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, guys. A Republican safe space in a Chicago university was violated by the puerile macroaggressions of Black Lives Matter protesters.
My safe space brings all the boys to the yard, but your safe space is bigger than ours.
In other news, internet atheists are still edgy fedora-tipping autists that nobody wants to listen to.
Yelling God not real into a microphone doesn't make you Christopher Hitchens.
So Milo Yiannopoulos went to speak at DePaul University, I think it was. That's the name of this. It was a Catholic university, from what I've heard. And he was protested by a number of Black Lives Matter people. And I just have to say, I am surprised by the amount of condescension and just nastiness coming from these people. Every single time.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't be at this point. These are the same fuckers who went on stage with Bernie Sanders, right? And I'm not a Bernie Sanders supporter. I'm not. But you have to admit one thing about the guy. He's fought for, like, black liberation for his entire fucking life. He's been unemployed, but he's also been fighting for black liberation for his entire life. And these fucking bitches had the gall to go up and yell in his face. His face! I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. And I'm surprised by the amount of condescension, nastiness, and this unearned sense of moral superiority. I know I shouldn't be. I know I shouldn't be surprised by it, but I still am whenever I see this kind of shit.
Well, and they think that they're accomplishing something positive in this process, and all they're doing is pushing people away. All they're doing is making people more and more sick and tired of their childish nonsense.
Dude, totally. I was watching a video by somebody I really like, Blonde in the Belly of the Beast, and I really think this attitude from them comes from this sort of reverse psychology. It's the same reverse psychology that, like, Justin Trudeau has. If you kill terrorists, they win. It's like, you know, the terrorists want us to be angry at them, so instead of actually fixing terrorism and doing something to stop the problem, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna ignore them because that'll make the terrorists really angry at us. It's the same kind of shit. So, you know what? White people think that all blacks are violent, loud, ignorant, and lazy. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be violent, loud, ignorant, and lazy. That'll show those fucking whiteys.
Yeah, I loved that the chant that ended up getting started was "Get a job." That was amazing. That was amazing.
It really was. I love the Milo Yiannopoulos is doing us all a huge favor. He is doing a good service to civilization by going.
Yeah, just simply by exposing these people, just by showing, look, they're calling Milo a racist, sexist, homophobic bigot.
Homophobic. He couldn't love himself more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're calling him a homophobe. It's amazing.
I'm no longer surprised by it. And honestly, I don't think you are either, because I've been staring into the abyss for too damn long, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. I just put out a new video that's about a concept known as buck breaking. That is a mythology these people have, that they believe that any black people that are gay were turned gay by the white man.
What?
Yeah, and then they've been permanently damaged as a race.
Oh my fucking god! This is like fucking Nazi tier bullshit. Like
it is.
You know, the Jews are spreading feminism into our universities to attack the white man. I mean,
yeah. No, he believes the same thing. That's actually how I introed one of my videos, was any white supremacists who think that the gay conspiracy is coming to wipe out the white race. Don't worry, all racial supremacists feel that way about homosexuals.
Yeah, it's something they all share. It's like, you look at Black Hitler. Like, it's strange. Whenever you get so far into this identity politics, it's always the Jews. They always go after the Jews. I think it's because the Jews are like the most white people.
Yeah. Well, and they're kind of the people that first have this idea of a racial identity that was perpetuated globally.
Yeah.
A lot of people recognize that.
Yeah, I think that that honestly, all of the hatred of the Jews from these racial supremacists, it really does come out of that sense of just jealousy. Like, because if you look at Western civilization, like the nation states that exist, Israel is the only Western is the only nation state that exists within the realm of Western civilization that has any resemblance to a form of ethnic nationalism. It's the only one.
Yes.
And the white nationalists desperately want ethnic nationalism, and so do the black nationalists. And it's just like, you know what? Those fucking kikes, they got it. We got to take them down.
Yeah.
I
It's the
fucking
same
hate those
example they
Jews.
use with the wall. When they say, oh, yeah, I get it. We don't get a wall. Israel gets a wall. Israel gets to decide who comes in and out of its country, but we don't. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean, the thing
Interesting the Jews can do it.
well, I mean, if you actually want to argue for the Mexican border wall, just look at the southern border of Mexico, where they
Yeah.
have a wall with
Yeah.
what is it? Honduras and Nicaragua? No, it's not Nicaragua. I think. It's
Yeah, well,
Honduras.
have you seen what Central America looks like?
Dude.
I mean, when Mexico is the best country in Central America, think about that. Have you been to
Seriously.
Mexico?
Seriously, that is saying a lot. Like,
Yeah, have you been to Mexico?
there
It's a shithole.
there is one sliver of land that is like it's like an alien will land in Central America and say, okay, there's sentient life here. Everywhere else is terrible. That one sliver of land is literally like a mile surrounding the Panama Canal. That's it.
Yep.
And everywhere else is just a huge shithole or a tourist trap. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Though then, and if you go to the tourist trap and leave that area, you are bound to get hurt. I mean, it's like almost
Yeah,
inevitable.
like that's basically their business: tourism and mugging tourists. That's,
Yeah, it's tourism and mugging tourists. It's a dual economy. It's
yeah.
great.
But and that's the thing when it comes to all of these white nationalists, like Black Lives Matter too. They have this. I don't even know how. I'm not quite sure how to describe it, except to say that it's this sense of entitlement. And
Yeah.
I think it's this sense of entitlement that is born out of the this historicism. I've been into Popper lately, and the one phrase that he's invented to describe this is historicism. So there's just this idea, I think, that that history is progressing towards the natural good, right? That history is sort of naturally progressing towards a utopia, and therefore that means we are on the right side of history, and we are justified in doing anything we can to bring about this natural occurrence. And I think that that's the sort of mentality that these people have, that they are on the right side of history, so therefore everything and anything they do is completely justified.
Yeah, and they don't seem to realize how freaking terrifying that kind of thinking is.
I am literally like aghast because I've watched your videos, Hagbard, about these black nationalists, and I used to think that the sort of "we was kings" mentality was just something that was like a fringe internet thing. It's not a fringe internet thing anymore.
Not at all. This is taught in Black Studies classes. This kind of thinking is taught in Black Studies classes.
And here's the thing that I've been thinking about. So you have atheists, the sort of MRA people, and then you have gamers. And I think that they've all been a sort of part of the left. And I'd like to present this to you as being my sort of intellectual foil on this podcast, the lefty that I hang out with to prove that I'm not racist. But
The one black guy, right?
yeah, the one lefty to prove that I'm not McCarthy. I'm not some evil right-wing bigot. But there's been gamers, atheists, and MRA people who have all initially reacted to feminism and all of this stuff, and mainly like Anita Sarkeesian in gamers. But they all have only reacted to this shit the moment that the far left fringe just painted a target on their backs.
Yes,
But
of course. It's completely personally motivated, and then they have to find an ideology that actually represents something.
yeah, so that's the problem that I'm having is that when I look at this, I see this kind of blanket attacks from the left. And being, I should say, I haven't been a conservative all my life. I think it's been like the past 3 years is when I've actually started developing a deeper political philosophy that wasn't just entirely identity driven. But I look back at history and I realize that this kind of shit has been happening for fucking ever. against conservatives. The kind of shit that they're doing now to atheists and gamers, and to just